Hey everyone, how you doing today? I have a special guest. I have someone that actually follows me on Instagram. Young man just graduated college. He asked some very good questions on one of my posts, and I said, "Hey, any chance you want to get on an interview Sunday morning? You can ask these questions, and then we could share them with my audience." And he's like, "Let's do it." So, I want to thank him for doing that, and let's welcome Aaron to the show. How you doing, buddy?
Hi, I'm doing great. I'm excited to be on here to ask you some of my questions.
Awesome. And, you never know, right? You reach out to somebody cold on Instagram. Sometimes they just blow you off, and sometimes it leads to, a 30 or 45-minute conversation. So, Aaron, thanks for taking a shot. I think we'll be able to help a lot of people here.
Awesome. I'm really excited.
So, Aaron, do me a favor, set this up, right? Where are you in the country? Where are you in life? And, just kind of baseline it for folks so they can see themselves in your situation or something similar, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, okay. So I'm currently living in New York. More specifically, right now, I'm living in New York City and Queens.
Mm.
I just actually moved down from Buffalo, where I graduated recently with my bachelor's and master's degree in biomedical engineering. And I started looking into how to become a little bit more financially independent and financially free. And I came across some really important books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad that really introduced me into the real estate world.
Mm. Very cool. Yeah, that book was. You can open that if you want. It seems like we're getting sun. Now you're a shadow.
Yeah.
But anyways, so that's exciting. So you're in your 20s, early 20s. You're really starting. You're out of college. You've got your first real job or 40-hour job. You have dreams of being financially independent, retire early, right? The FIRE movement, read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and now you're like, what's next, right? It's kind of where you're at. Is that kind of a fair story?
Yeah, it's definitely accurate. I think the biggest issue right now is that I am constantly like being told to get into the real estate market because the market's like super hot right now,
Mm.
even though it's a seller's market with interest rates being down.
Mhm.
But when I started looking into the market, I started seeing these properties that were run down or like completely gutted,
Mm.
going for the price of like a property that was already fully renovated. So finding the down payment for that was kind of impossible.
Well, it's not. Let's be clear, right? If you're looking at junk, which is what you describe by gutted or needs to be gutted, it's not only the down payment, but it's probably a pretty healthy make ready cost, right? So it's kind of a
Right.
double whammy. Um, so where should we start this? So when you say you're looking at a market, are you looking in Queens or are you looking elsewhere, right? Where are you at as far as market research?
Right. So I decided to start looking away from the five boroughs and
Okay.
start looking in the Westchester area. So Yonkers,
Okay.
Mount Vernon, and New Rochelle. It's a little bit further away from the city, but close enough so that the commute wouldn't be too long.
Okay. All right. So this is kind of my first piece of advice for someone in your situation, right? Let, let's just be frank. You have, knock on wood, at least 80 years left to live, right? You're in the first quarter of your life, right? So you shouldn't put pressure on yourself to, jump in kind of uninformed to this market, right? So anybody pressuring you to do that, at least I don't think they have your best interests in mind. Right. And again, I'm saying this as somebody who thinks real estate investing is the best path to financial freedom there is, but realize where you are in this journey. I believe the first thing you need to do, and frankly, the first thing most people need to do, is you need to learn a market, right? So you need to pick
Right.
one of those and you need to build a brand new skill. All right. You just graduated with an engineering degree. What type? There's lots of engineering degrees. Which one?
Uh, Biomedical engineering.
Oh, that sounds hard. So biomedical engineering, right? You don't just roll out of bed, read a book, and suddenly you're the top of your field, right? It takes
Right.
work and discipline and trial and error and all of these things, right? So just like I talk about in my course, how to get started one rental at a time, you need to build a brand new skill that you've never had before. That skill, in my opinion, takes focus, Yonkers. But more than that, it takes Yonkers. I don't know what Yonkers, I mean, if I don't know. 3-bedroom, 2-bath houses between this and this in this area. And frankly, Aaron, you need to look at that for at least 90 days, every day, 10 to 20 minutes.
Mhm.
Because again, I'm just picking on Yonkers because I think it's fun to say. You need to work on Yonkers, because what you need to do is you need to figure out where Yonkers is going. Real estate markets have currents and flows, and yes, we're in a seller's market, but saying that without context to Yonkers is lazy. It's what people on CNBC and Wall Street Journal do, right? They talk nationally when all real estate is local. So what I would tell
Right.
you and any new person first is give yourself a break. Even if it took you a year to learn Yonkers and you had to look at it 360 out of 365 days, you would come out of this so much better, because two things. One, you would know Yonkers, but that's not the big deal. The big deal for me is after a year, and I'm saying it takes a year. I'm saying if it took a year, you would have learned the skill of learning a market.
Right.
And once you've done that, you can take that to any market across the country, frankly, any market across the world. That's what I teach. That's what I talk about. It's not about the deal. It's not about the 1%. It's not about house hacking. It's not about BRRRR. It's not about flipping. It's not about bigger is better. It's about, God damn it, Aaron, learn a market, learn the skill of learning a market. Because once you do that, Aaron, you'll be 25 or 26 when you're done, and you'll have 80 years to take that skill that you only have to learn once. It's like riding a bike. Once you know how to ride a bike, you kind of figure it out even after 10 years. It's like a golf swing. If you ever played golf, right? It's a horrible experience the first time, but you do it enough times, you practice, you get better. So what I would tell you to do is remove the pressure, which is building in a bottle, right? Which I can feel, just take it off and just go, you know what? I am going to learn the skill of learning real estate, and I'm willing to invest a year doing it. I am not going to write an offer until I can tell my friends what an average deal in Yonkers is. And you're not going to learn that. I mean, the best person probably wouldn't learn it in 90 days. You already have a demanding full-time job. So if it takes you 6 months to a year, who cares? Stop stressing out. Hold yourself accountable. I want you to spend 10 to 20 minutes a day learning Yonkers. And again, I'm only saying Yonkers because it's fun to say. Pick whatever market you want. I don't care. But that's it, man. Just remove the pressure, change the goal, change the thing from I need my first deal to, you know what? I am going to learn the skill of real estate investing. And dude, once you do that, you're going to be miles ahead of anybody else, because most
Right.
people, what most people do is either A, they get a little money and then they walk up to the roulette wheel and they go, I'm going to pick 17. Sometimes 17 hits, but most of the time it doesn't. So don't do that. Don't be in a rush. Don't burn your capital. Don't do something stupid. I don't want any of my students to write an offer until they can tell me, Michael, 3-bedroom, 2 baths in Yonkers, average yield is 4.2%. Great. Now that you know average, go do deals at 5, 6, 7%. It's hard. I'm not telling you it's easy, but if you can do deals at 6% in a 4.2% market, you're going to be ahead of the game. So that's my first thing. You got to change. You need to change the goal to learning a skill. That's what I would tell you.
Yeah, I definitely feel that that is a mindset shift that I really need to focus on, especially because there's nothing I can do right now. I can't physically earn more cash except if I create a side hustle, which I don't think I really have time for with my job. Sometimes it runs over because I'm working in a hospital, and basically my hours are kind of dictated by the surgeons. If the surgery goes over, then I'm forced to stay there. I can't really do anything. I can't just leave.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's a really important mindset shift that I have to nail into my brain.
Yeah. And again, our situations are the same, just different fields. I had a job. I started my journey at 30. So you're 6 or 7 years ahead of me. I had a job that took me all over the world. And again, I want to tell people, I hope they hear me when I say this. You only need 10 or 20 minutes a day to learn this skill.
Right.
I've looked at my market um, almost every day for 20 years. And I'm still learning. The flow of the current changes, right? Right now it's a seller's market. A few years ago it was a buyer's market. You just have to learn. In my market, for example, in 2010, the average yield was 15%. It's now as low as 5. I'm not passing judgment on average. It's just math. But if you do the work, you can always do better than average. And that's what I teach. That's what I talk about. And again, I was in a I literally couldn't do anymore. I would work 67 hours, 70 hours a week and then travel because my job was getting on planes another 30 hours a week. But I still found 10 to 20 minutes a day. It's all
Mhm.
it takes, man. Focus and daily execution. Focus and daily execution. Yeah, people are doing it. Join the Facebook group, and man, people are just celebrating and helping each other. It's fun. So again, recognize it, change the mindset, and you'll be less stressed and you'll make gigantic progress.
Right. Right. Thank you so much for that information. I definitely will try to hammer that in daily, and I definitely will make it a goal to start looking in at specific uh, filters of what properties to look at and just gain the knowledge of that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and then how far away is Yonkers or these other boroughs? I mean, like, could you in theory every Sunday go touch them, feel them, walk through them, and learn even more? Or are they too far away?
Currently, it is a little bit too far away. My mode of transportation right now is via the MTA,
Okay.
and it doesn't reach all the way up to into Yonkers. And my
Okay.
car is currently in Buffalo, so
Okay.
me and my significant other actually just found a place in Yonkers to rent. So
Nice.
we have been planning. Every weekend, we're gonna just go out into Yonkers
Yeah.
and look at property, explore the place, and maybe even do some driving for dollars.
Yeah. There you go. Again, just to stay focused, right? It's not about driving for dollars yet. It's not.
Right, right,
Don't go to second base if you haven't left first, right? Just go feel it. And what I mean by feel it is, okay, I've looked at my market, honey, for 45 days. These are the two that I think are the best deal. These are the two that I think are the worst deal. Let's go look at them. Oh, well, look at that. This one has this and that one has this. Again, it's the skill that you need to learn the story of Yonkers, and
right, right.
don't rush it. Don't try it. There's no shortcuts in this. If you try to learn this skill in a rushed or skipped fashion, you'll set yourself up for mistakes. Just enjoy it. You've got 80 years ahead of you. And real estate is not like sports where you can only do it for a decade. You'll be doing this forever. So put in the work, learn your market, get around other people that are doing that, and let's have some fun.
Right. I think what caused my what would cause all this pressure to like really have me get a property as soon as possible was this un unnatural goal that I set for myself, where I told myself after reading all those books by Robert Kiyosaki and his CPA, I was like, okay, fine. I'm giving myself a deadline to be financially free by the age of 30. And I did the math and I was like, oh, that gives me 7 years. So I started saying like, okay, I'm gonna have at least a single property by the end of 2022, and I'm gonna make that happen no matter what. So it's just I think I have to slow down just a little bit.
Well, yeah, what I got to tell people is, you're on a journey of financial independence, right? So for me, it's a hike, right? Every
Right,
time people talk about this, it's like, okay, you're sitting at a trailhead, right? And everybody's trailhead is different. You are where you are, whether you're 24, whether you're 18, whether you're 51, you're at a trailhead. You have now been inspired to look up and see financial independence. I get it. It's exciting. It's vibrating. It's like caffeine or sugar to a kid. I get it. But oh, by the way, the trail is the same. And for me,
mhm,
the if you're going to use real estate as your vehicle, which is the best side hustle in my opinion for crazy full-time employees, it all starts with learning the basic skill. If you don't learn the skill and you just, the other thing you could do is scrimp and save and get a job on the weekends and just burn the candle at both ends. But then what's going to happen is you're going to wake up, you're going to have some money put away, and then you're going to go buy something stupid because you don't know the market.
Right.
That would be, God, that would suck. You know, do all that effort and then you buy a bad deal. That would be terrible.
Yeah, it's kind of funny that you say that because I was actually looking into getting a job on the weekends and
Oh my
just
God.
destroying my entire week.
Yeah,
I was literally just talking about that last week.
you would be, I mean, lots of people do it. So shout out, respect. I had 2 jobs a couple of different times in my life. Um, but again, you're lucky enough to have a job that pays the bills and you can save some money. I would tell
Right.
you should focus on learning your market and enjoying life. Burning the candle at both ends does not end well for most people. You know, you get to be 2 years later, you're a curmudgeon. Uh, it's just not a good way to go. And then the worst thing is you walk up, you haven't done the research, you buy a bad deal. It's like,
Right.
what a shame.
Right. Yeah, I definitely don't think that's a good idea now in hindsight, especially since I also just graduated from college. So I'm already experiencing burnout. So I don't know what an extra job would put me at.
It would not end well.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really difficult because on top of the pressure to like just get a property and building capital, I also have like again like almost every single college student now has student debt,
Uh-huh.
and I'm like forced to decide, oh, should I go into real estate or should I take that savings and just pay down my debt?
What
And I've
interest
been
rate is
talking
the debt at?
0 right now until September 30th.
Okay, what do you think it goes to after? Is it fixed after that? Do you know?
Uh, I think so. It's all different between each semester
Oh,
of the
okay.
loan. Some of them are 4%, some of them are 5 or 3.
Okay, but
It's
they're
mixed.
not 10.
No,
Okay. All right. So single digits. Okay. All right.
yeah,
It's been a while since I had student debt. I graduated with debt as well. So, oh, thank God I got rid of that. Yeah.
yeah. I can't wait to have that feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's so by the end of like September, I would have enough saved to like fully pay off my student debt. And I know that's not a great idea because like I'm locking up all that capital and just
Mhm.
shoving it away into something that I won't be able to use down the line.
Mhm.
So I've been talking through with my girlfriend, and
Mhm.
I've like done the math with her. Like if we can find a multi-unit, live in one unit, and have the other unit pay for our mortgage, we'll be basically saving that monthly rent, and we'll be able to add that monthly rent into our payment for the student debt.
Yeah, I mean, let's be very clear on something. I think in your situation, a house hack in a multi-unit, right, 2 through 4s is kind of the ideal thing, right? Because you live there a couple years, you get married, you have kids, but then you move into something else. I think it's the ideal thing to do, especially with interest rates. So again, I would again, I don't think I would make any rash decisions, i.e., pay off student debt. I think I would go, you know what? I'm going to do what Michael says. I'm going to spend a year learning my market. I'm going to pay my debt. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to pay the payment, maybe,
Yeah,
maybe pay double or something or whatever, right? Pay a little more. Um, but the goal is going to be to house hack something, but you can't write that offer until you
right,
know your market. And
right.
you've got some work to do.
Yeah, I have my work cut out for me.
Yeah, well, hopefully it's freeing, right? Because now you've got, okay, honey, all I need to do. So what you should do, or anybody should do watching this, is like you should take a weekend or a week or whatever and go, okay. Because again, you have to focus.
Mhm.
Once I'm just gonna pick Yonkers because it's fun to say. I don't care. I do not care what market you pick, but I'm gonna pick Yonkers, and we're gonna look at all the duplexes through fourplexes under $2 million. I don't know. You got to figure out your criteria, and you're
Yeah.
gonna go, honey. I'm gonna look at this every day. And then
Mhm.
you know what, honey? We're going to go to breakfast every Sunday at our favorite spot. And I'm going to show you what I learned for the week. Hold me accountable.
Right.
And dude, I tell you, like by the 12th time doing that, you're going to know that market better than 99% of the Yonkers real estate agents. And you're going to have all the power, all the power.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like your advice is definitely like uh, it takes a lot of weight off of my shoulders. It definitely makes me feel that there isn't a specific deadline that I have to reach. It isn't like I shouldn't basically sprint towards the finish line by the age of 30. And yeah, I definitely feel like your advice has really been a mind opener,
Yeah,
to say
and
the
let's
least.
be clear. I still think being financially free by 30 is a great goal. It's just you haven't done the work yet, right? I mean, Jesus
Right.
Christ, it's like you're ready to run a marathon and you're going to go sprint the first 440 yards. You're going to pass out. I mean, damn, dude, go stretch, go practice, go run some laps, build up your foundation. Who knows if 30 is good or bad? It's people that do that too early are adding, it's like a champagne glass. You're adding undue stress when you haven't done the work.
Right.
I think any college graduate, frankly, any high school graduate could absolutely, without question, be retired by 30. You may, because you're in New York and I'm in the Silicon Valley, it's harder, right? Our cost of living is higher,
Right.
but still, I don't see anything wrong with 30, but freaking A, go do the work first.
Right. Yeah. It's always weird because we hear these deals online where people like are in the Midwest or wherever real estate is cheaper,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Oh, I bought this property for $97,000," and then I'm like, "Hey, I can do that," but unfortunately,
Yeah.
location.
Lots of people go broke buying cheap. Nobody talks about the
Right.
losses. I interview people all the time who believe the hype of the Midwest, and more than half of them end up losing a lot of money.
Right. So I guess being forced to be a little bit more patient will definitely pay off.
Learn your market.
Right. Besides that, I think you answered all of my questions
Cool.
and
All right.
some more before I could even ask them.
Awesome. Well, Aaron, thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You give yourself a break. Just commit to doing the work. I would definitely challenge you to every week, whether it's Sunday or Saturday or Fridays, whatever day you want with your significant other, uh, share with her what you're learning, have her hold you accountable, learn together if you want. But yeah, you're signing up to use a skill, right? To build a skill and then learn it
Right.
that you can use for the next 80 years. So don't rush it. Don't rush it. Make sure it's repeatable because real estate investing is awesome. Get on the property ladder. House hacking's a great idea. Just go do the work, man. Have fun. All right.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You got it, buddy. Take care.